Today we're going to talk a little bit about passion. And what I mean by passion is, we're not talking about passion in the sense of lust and love types of passion. We're talking about passion for things like life and what life is about. So there was a time in my life where I was making a lot of money. I was making upwards of $150,000, never taking a day of college. Graduated high school half a year late, so I didn't even walk with my classmates. Moved into my career field that I found interesting and appealing. It was in electronics, but it was in the life safety industry. And so growing in that industry was great because I got to learn hands-on by building things and by doing things, and it taught me a lot about myself and how to lead people and how to lead organizations and how to become organized and how to build projects and buildings. I'm sure a lot of you that live in Southern California, some of the buildings that you work in, I've been in before you even arrived into those buildings, and I installed a lot of the systems that you've used to save your life. Fire and access control and closed circuit TV that keeps you safe. And I started to find that as I made more and more money that the responsibilities didn't change. The stress levels only increased. It was a different kind of stress. There was still stress while I was doing the installation. There was stress while I was project managing. There was stress while I was an operations manager. But one of the things that I started to notice that was real was that my passion started to dwindle. And I couldn't figure out what it was. I mean, I was making a ton of money and I was enjoying the better things in life. I was way ahead on my bills and I mean, the money that was coming in was ridiculous. I had never seen that kind of money before, at least not from one person making that money. It was a combined type of an income sort of deal where you were able to live very comfortably and go on vacations and do all those things. Well, as my passion started to dwindle, so did my enthusiasm for the industry. And I started to notice that as my enthusiasm started to dwindle, so did my skill sets and my leadership skills. And so I left the company where I was making a tremendous amount of money, and I took another opportunity with a company where I still had the responsibility, because obviously you can't just go down that far when it comes to responsibility. If you have a title, you typically either move laterally or you move up. And I noticed that I was just going through the motions. I mean, I was driving 2 hours each way every day. And I lost energy, I lost passion, I lost enthusiasm. I didn't see the role as what it really was. And it was a great opportunity for me. And so because of that, as I went through the motions and I started to notice that it was affecting everything about me, my relationships, me being a father with my kids, it really took its toll on me. And I remember what it was that woke me up. It was finding my passion again. And my passion was to help people, to help other people. And so because of that, Your Cup of Joe was created. I remember going through the steps in creating Your Cup of Joe and how I had just moved from that role that had torn me down and the environment that I was in where it was just very passive and it almost seemed like it didn't matter, to having something to actually focus on and to be intent about. And it was a great thing. And so I have a question for you. Do you live with passion? Do you know your passion? Do you know your path? Are you living your path? Are you cognizant of the fact that every day is worth the effort that you put into it? And every moment that you take away from your passion and every moment that you detract from where you're supposed to be going, that has an impact on your soul. Because if you're not living with that energy every day and every moment, and understand that we're only given 25,000 sunrises and 25,000 sunsets in our life. And if you don't wake up with that invigoration in knowing that today matters, that this moment matters, and that you have to do something about it. That life isn't just going to give itself to you. You have to actually build what it is that you want. You have to do something about these dreams and these desires that you have. And when you start giving your energy and you focus on what it is that you're trying to accomplish, the universe just kind of manifests what it is that you desire. And the more power that you give to the lack and to the thought of lack and the thought of inopportunity and the thought of not having enough, the thought of scarcity, all of those things that pull you away from your passion, that actually give you purpose, that give you purpose in life, all of those things, you give them your life, you give them your energy. They're not really worth it. You have to shift. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to do to make that shift? Does it hurt enough? Does the pain that you feel of not having everything that you want hurt enough to make you change? Those are questions that only you can answer. And I hope today that I've given you some insight into yourself and that you can actually take a hard look and ask yourself, what's it going to take for me to develop? And what's it going to take for me to grow? And what's it going to take for me to push myself to actually become what it is that my life's calling for? So with that, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed our talk today. I'm so glad to be back. I promise you that there's going to be more coming. It's going to take a little bit of time for me to get back into the swing of things. I have a ton more topics to talk about. I'm fully inspired. I'm going to live this passion. I'm going to live with it. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to develop from your cup of joe. And I'm hoping that if you're on this journey with me and that you're as dedicated to making change in your life and making good things happen for you, that you can share your story with me one day. And I really look forward to that. So I hope you have a great day. Live your life with passion. Find your mojo, find your motivation, and we'll talk again soon, okay? Take care.